I discovered my girlfriend's secret family when her son showed up at my door. Before we begin the story, make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss more incredible stories every day. There are moments that cut your life in half, before and after, trust and betrayal. For me, it happened on a rainy Thursday, the kind where the city feels blurred and distant. I'd just gotten home, tossed my keys on the counter when the doorbell rang. I thought it was a package or maybe a neighbor. Instead, standing there was a boy, maybe 10 years old, soaked, shivering, with my girlfriend's eyes. "Are you Alex?" he asked, voice trembling. I nodded, heart pounding. "Yeah, can I help you?" He glanced behind him, fists clenched at his sides. "My mom told me to come here if anything bad happened. She said you'd keep me safe." My mind short-circuited. "Who's your mom?" He swallowed. "Rachel. Rachel Smith. Rachel, my Rachel. The woman I'd dated for a year, who claimed she didn't want kids, who'd never mentioned a son." My stomach dropped. "Wait, you're her son?" He nodded, tears brimming. "She said you were her boyfriend. She told me not to tell you. But now she's gone." The world tilted. All at once, every weird moment in our relationship, the unexplained absences, the late-night phone calls she never took in front of me, the little lies, flashed before me, burning holes in my memory. How had I missed it? How could she hide something this big? I let him in, made him tea, tried to keep my hands from shaking as he told me pieces of a story I'd never heard. Rachel was missing. There was no one else he could trust. As I listened, rage and heartbreak tangled inside me. One thing was certain, my girlfriend's secret life had just landed in my lap, and nothing would ever be the same. I grabbed my phone and called Rachel. It rang and rang. No answer. But the next time it rang, the caller ID sent ice down my spine, an unknown number with a message that would change everything. The phone buzzed in my hand, its vibrations humming through my bones. I hesitated, staring at the unknown number as the boy, her son, watched me with wide, hopeful eyes. Finally, I answered, my voice barely steady. "Hello." There was silence, then a man's voice, rough, impatient. "Is this Alex? You have something that belongs to me. Don't do anything stupid." The line went dead. I stood frozen, while rising in my throat. The boy looked up, sensing my fear. "Was that about my mom?" I don't know." I lied, forcing calm. "But we'll figure this out. I promise." We sat at the kitchen table. I gave him crackers and juice, watched him pick nervously at the label on his cup. "What happened, Ethan? Why did your mom tell you to come here?" He shrugged, blinking back tears. "She said if anything happened, if she didn't come home after work, I should find you. She gave me your address. I waited as long as I could." Rachel had always been careful, almost secretive about her past. When I'd ask about her family, she'd laugh it off, change the subject, or distract me with a kiss. I'd chalked it up to her being private. Now it felt sinister. I scrolled through my texts with her, hunting for any clue. Last night's message echoed in my mind. "Love you. See you soon." No sign of panic. No goodbye. I tried calling again, this time leaving a desperate voicemail. "Rachel, your son is with me. Please call. I need to know you're okay." As the hours dragged on, fear settled in my chest. What had Rachel gotten herself into? And what did it mean for us? For Ethan? Then, as the city outside turned to night, headlights flashed across my window. Someone was outside, waiting, watching. A shadow moved by the porch. I pulled Ethan close. Who else knew Rachel's secrets? I kept the lights off and crept to the window, heart pounding so hard I could barely hear anything else. A dark sedan idled across the street, headlights dimmed. Someone sat behind the wheel, barely visible, a silhouette watching my house. I ducked back, panic surging. Ethan's eyes were wide with fear. "Is it them?" "Stay here," I whispered, trying to sound braver than I felt. I grabbed my phone and snapped a quick photo of the car, then texted it to Rachel's number and my own, just in case. My mind raced. Was this about her disappearance? Or about me now that I'd been pulled into her secrets? I checked the locks, grabbed the baseball bat from the hall closet, and perched near the door. Minutes passed, stretching into eternity. The car didn't move. Ethan whispered, "Can we call the police?" The urge was strong, but what would I even say? My missing girlfriend's secret son showed up. Now someone's stalking my house, and I don't know anything because my entire relationship was a lie. I felt the urge to laugh, hysterical, bitter. But I picked up the phone anyway. I told the dispatcher only what I could prove: a strange car, a frightened child, an unaccounted-for woman. They promised to send a unit. As I waited, I replayed the last year with Rachel. Every late night, work meeting. Every time she flinched at certain questions. Every fight that fizzled out with a kiss. How had I missed the signs? Or had I simply not wanted to see them? The squad car finally rolled up, lights swirling quietly. The sedan sped away as soon as the police arrived, disappearing into the night. I breathed, just for a moment. But my relief was short-lived. The officer at my door checked on Ethan, took my statement, and then asked a simple question. "Do you have any proof this woman is the boy's mother?" I stared at him, realizing I had nothing. No pictures, no paperwork, not even a family photo. Everything about Rachel, about our life, suddenly felt as fragile as glass. The officer's question left me rattled. I stammered something about photos on Rachel's phone, how she hated taking pictures, how private she was, but it sounded thin, even to me. The cop scribbled in his notebook, then crouched beside Ethan. "Do you know your mom's phone number? Any relatives we can call?" Ethan shook his head, looking small and lost. "She said just Alex." The officer offered a reassuring smile, but his eyes were wary. "If you think of anything, let us know." He handed me a card and left, promising to file a missing persons report. I closed the door, adrenaline crashing into exhaustion. I tried searching Rachel's social media, but it was scrubbed clean. No family photos, no mention of a child, barely any friends at all. My mind raced. Was anything about us ever real? My own memories felt counterfeit. I tucked Ethan into my guest room, promising he was safe. As he drifted to sleep, he clutched a small, battered backpack. When I checked on him, I noticed a folded piece of paper sticking out of a side pocket. I hesitated, then pulled it free. It was a birth certificate, faded and creased, with Rachel's name listed as mother and a father I'd never heard of. My stomach twisted. Scrawled on the back in Rachel's handwriting were 3 words: "Trust no one." A chill ran through me. What had she gotten herself into? And why bring me into it? That night, sleep was impossible. Every noise made me flinch, every passing car a threat. I sat in the dark, piecing together scraps of truth, fighting the urge to run. Just before dawn, my phone vibrated. A new message from an unknown number. "If you want answers about Rachel, come alone. 10 a.m., Riverside Park. Don't bring the boy." I stared at the screen, pulse thundering. Was this my chance to finally learn the truth? Or just another trap? Morning crept in gray and cold. I barely touched my coffee, mind spinning with fear and questions. Ethan woke groggy, rubbing his eyes, and asked about his mom. I lied, telling him she was probably just sorting things out and that I'd get answers soon. He nodded, trusting me more than I trusted myself. At 9:30, I bundled him into the car and drove to my friend Adam's place. A guy I'd known since college, the one person I could trust with something this weird. "Just watch him for a few hours," I told Adam, lowering my voice so Ethan wouldn't hear my panic. "I'll explain later." By 10 a.m., I was at Riverside Park. It was almost empty, the air sharp and the river slow and brown. I waited, heart in my throat, hands shoved deep in my jacket pockets. A woman approached, mid-40s, sharp eyes, phone in hand. She barely glanced at me. "You Alex?" I nodded. She handed me a sealed envelope. "Rachel's in trouble. She didn't want you dragged in, but you are now. Take this. Don't trust the police. Don't trust anyone who calls themselves family." I tried to ask questions, but she was already walking away. "Wait." I called, but she disappeared into the trees. My hands shook as I opened the envelope. Inside, a flash drive. A note from Rachel. "If you're reading this, I'm sorry. Protect Ethan. Trust only what's on this drive." And a single photo of Rachel, bruised and scared, holding Ethan as a baby. I scanned the park, suddenly feeling watched. Had I just been handed proof, or a target? My phone buzzed again. This time, a picture of Ethan at Adam's house, taken from outside the window. A new text. "You're running out of time. Next, we take the boy." I froze, panic twisting into rage. The truth was coming for me, ready or not. I raced back to Adam's, every red light an eternity. My hands trembled on the wheel, mind spinning with worst-case scenarios. Who were these people? How had Rachel's secrets found their way to my doorstep, and now to Adam's? When I arrived, Adam opened the door, concern etched deep in his face. Dude, what's going on? Someone's been parked outside since you left. Inside, Ethan sat on the couch, knees hugged to his chest, trying to be brave. I tried to hide my fear. We're leaving, I said, voice low. Pack up, Ethan. Adam, I'm so sorry, just trust me. We piled into my car and drove aimlessly, weaving through side streets until I was sure no one followed. I parked in an empty lot and plugged the flash drive into my laptop. Videos, documents, voice recordings, all encrypted except one folder labeled README. I opened the file. Rachel's voice played through my speakers, urgent and raw. If you're listening, I messed up. Years ago, I trusted the wrong people. Ethan's father isn't who I said he was. He's dangerous, and he's looking for us. If anything happens to me, keep Ethan safe. The flash drive has what you need to expose him, but you'll have to be smart. Trust no one, especially anyone who says they're family. My stomach dropped. This was bigger than infidelity or a hidden child. This was survival. My life, Ethan's, even Adam's, all suddenly at risk. I looked at Ethan, small and frightened in the back seat. I promised, I'll keep you safe, no matter what. As I drove to a cheap motel across town, I caught a glimpse of a car in the rearview mirror, the same dark sedan from last night. My phone buzzed again. You can't run forever. Give us the boy, or everyone you care about pays. A cold resolve settled over me. If Rachel was right, trusting the wrong person now could cost us everything. The motel room reeked of bleach and old secrets. I double-locked the door, pulled the curtains tight, and turned on the TV for noise. Ethan sat on the bed, clutching the battered backpack, eyes wide and silent. Adam, refusing to leave us alone, sat in a cracked vinyl chair, fists clenched. I tried to reassure Ethan. We're safe here, bud. I promise. But I knew he could hear the lie. My mind kept replaying Rachel's message, her fear, her warning about family. Was Ethan's father behind the threats? How close was he? I scanned through the files on the flash drive, hands shaking. There were bank transfers, email chains, even scans of fake IDs, all tracing back to a man named Victor Reeves. With each new document, the story grew darker. Money laundering, blackmail, threats against Rachel if she ever spoke up. A chill ran through me as I found a video clip. Rachel, in a dark room, whispering, Victor will do anything to get Ethan. If I disappear, it wasn't by choice. Alex, I'm sorry. Please, protect him. Don't trust my mother. She's working with him. I sat back, stunned. Rachel's own mother? My pulse raced. The walls were closing in. Suddenly, someone pounded on the motel door, 3 sharp, heavy knocks. Adam jumped to his feet. I hushed Ethan and tiptoed to the peephole. A woman's voice came through, sugary but strained. Alex? It's me, Rachel's mom. I just want to talk. Open the door. Everything in me screamed not to. The threats, the warning, the fear in Rachel's voice, all led to this moment. I took a breath, heart hammering, as the knocking grew louder. Trust no one, I reminded myself. I pressed my back against the wall, willing myself to stay calm. Adam mouthed, Who is it? I shook my head. On the other side, Rachel's mom kept knocking, her voice rising, teetering between gentle and desperate. Alex, honey, I know you're in there. You're scared. I just want to help. Let's talk, please. I remembered Rachel's trembling whisper. Don't trust my mother. She's working with him. My hands shook as I motioned Adam and Ethan to stay quiet. The woman's footsteps paced outside. I peeked through the gap in the curtains and saw her on the phone, scanning the lot as if searching for someone. She dialed, and through the thin walls I caught snippets. They're here. I don't care, Victor. I'll keep them in place. Hurry. Ice in my veins. It was a trap. I typed a quick message to Adam's phone. Back door, now. He nodded, quietly gathering Ethan's things. My heart pounded as I stuffed the flash drive and documents into my jacket. Crouched low, we slipped into the cramped bathroom and opened the window. Adam lifted Ethan through first, then me. I heard Rachel's mom calling out, panic breaking through her sweetness. Alex? Alex, don't do anything stupid. We landed in the alley behind the motel. No sign of the dark sedan, but I knew Victor couldn't be far. Adam pointed to his car parked a block away. We ran, every shadow feeling like a threat. Inside the car, breathless, I checked the flash drive again, desperate for answers or leverage. One folder, newly decrypted, caught my eye. Insurance. Inside, photos, voice recordings, even a contract implicating Victor and Rachel's mom in crimes far beyond what I'd feared. Before I could process, my phone vibrated. This time, a live video. Rachel, alive but terrified, her eyes begging for help. A single message followed. Come alone. Bring the boy, or she dies. I looked at Ethan, then at Adam. The next move was mine, and the stakes had never been higher. The motel's alley faded behind us as I gripped my phone, watching Rachel's terrified face on the live video. My thoughts spun. Victor and Rachel's mother had played me from the start. Now they wanted a trade, Ethan for Rachel. The oldest, cruelest kind of leverage. Adam slammed on the brakes at a red light, jaw set. What's the plan, man? You can't just hand the kid over. I shook my head. No, but if we don't do something, they'll hurt her. They know every move we make. Ethan, sensing the tension, whispered, Will my mom be okay? My voice cracked, but I forced a smile. I promise. We're going to get her back. I played the video again, desperate for a clue, a background noise, a street sign, anything. Rachel's voice, muffled, pleaded, Don't do it, Alex. Don't bring him. Then Victor's voice, cold and steady. You have 1 hour. The old rail yard. Come alone. No cops. I texted the video to Adam, then scrolled through the insurance folder. The evidence was explosive, fraud, extortion, kidnapping. If I could get this to the right person, maybe we all had a chance. But first, I had to buy time. I replied to Victor's number. Proof of life. Let me talk to her. Then I'll come. A minute later, my phone rang. Rachel's voice was shaky, but alive. Alex, please, don't bring Ethan. You can't trust them. Promise me. I won't let them hurt you. I said, heartbreaking. Victor's voice cut in. Tick-tock, hero. We parked near the rail yard, adrenaline making my skin prickle. I turned to Adam. Take Ethan somewhere safe. If I'm not out in 2 hours, send everything to the police, the press, everyone. Adam grabbed my arm. Be careful. You're not alone in this. I forced a brave smile, then slipped the flash drive into my pocket. As I stepped into the shadows of the abandoned rail yard, my mind raced. Would I walk out with answers, or lose everything I cared about? The air at the rail yard was heavy, thick with the scent of rust and old oil. Freight cars loomed in the dusk, casting jagged shadows across the gravel. My heartbeat thundered in my ears as I stepped onto the cracked concrete, clutching the flash drive like a lifeline. A flashlight flicked in the darkness. Victor emerged, flanked by 2 men I didn't recognize, hard eyes, hands in their jackets. Rachel's mother stood off to the side, her face pale and drawn. But it was Rachel I saw first, bound to a chair near an abandoned freight car, eyes swollen but burning with fight. Victor greeted me with a smirk. Where's the boy? I forced my voice steady. He's safe. You'll never find him. I came alone, just like you asked. He circled me, slow and predatory. You're either brave or stupid, Alex. Let's make this simple. Give me Ethan, you and Rachel walk away. Or, you both disappear, and I find the boy myself. Rachel's mom tried to interject, but Victor silenced her with a glare. I weighed my options. No help coming. No time left for clever plans. But the insurance folder pressed against my leg, and with it, a sliver of hope. I reached into my pocket. I have something better. Evidence. Enough to put you and everyone you work with away for life. It's already with people who know what to do if I disappear. For the first time, Victor's smirk faltered. His men closed in, menace radiating. You're bluffing, he hissed. I held my ground, forcing myself not to shake. Try me. Let Rachel go, or I make you famous. Rachel's mother started to cry, panic rising. Victor's jaw clenched. The night vibrated with tension. A distant siren wailed. Was it for us? Victor's phone buzzed. He checked it, face twisting with rage. Suddenly, he shouted, Grab him! Everything erupted into chaos. Time seemed to fracture. Victor's men lunged for me, their boots crunching gravel as I dodged sideways, adrenaline screaming through my veins. I clutched the flash drive, desperate not to lose it. Rachel's cries spurred me on. Somehow, her voice pierced the panic. One of Victor's guys grabbed my arm, wrenching me back. I twisted, bringing my elbow up and breaking free. My heart hammered as I darted behind an old rail car, desperate for cover. The other man blocked my path. I swung the flash drive at his face, Futile, but it startled him just enough for me to slip past. I heard Victor shout, "Don't hurt him. The drive is worthless without him." In that moment, the distant wail of sirens grew louder, echoing off the empty metal shells around us. For a split second, hope flared. Maybe Adam had sent the evidence. Maybe help was coming after all. Rachel's mother, sobbing now, pleaded with Victor to stop. "You promised no one would get hurt." But Victor was beyond reason, barking orders, desperate to regain control. His men closed in again, cornering me against a rusted boxcar. Just as panic threatened to overwhelm me, a new figure appeared in the darkness. Adam, breathless and wild-eyed, holding a crowbar. "Get away from him," he yelled, swinging it at the nearest thug. The man stumbled back, and I rushed forward, shoving the other aside. Rachel screamed my name. I ran to her, fingers fumbling at the knots binding her wrists. "We have to go? Now." Victor's voice, cold and furious, echoed after us. "You'll regret this, Alex." I grabbed Rachel's hand, Adam covering us as we fled through the maze of freight cars, headlights and sirens closing in. As we tumbled out onto the main road, police cars screeched to a halt, officers flooding the yard. I clutched Rachel, trembling and breathless, as blue lights lit up the night. But as Victor was dragged away, he locked eyes with me, a threat unspoken but deadly clear. This wasn't over, not yet. Rachel collapsed into my arms, tears soaking my shoulder as the police swarmed the rail yard. Adam handed over the flash drive, breathless but grinning. "The minute you went in, I sent everything to the police chief, the news, hell, even the mayor. No way Victor's crew can make this disappear." Paramedics checked Rachel over while officers separated us for statements. Ethan's name came up immediately, his safety now the priority. "He's with a friend," I assured them, hands still shaking. "He's safe." Rachel's mother was led away in cuffs, sobbing and pleading. I felt a flash of pity, then remembered Rachel's whispered warning, the look of terror on Ethan's face, and let it pass. Victor, still fighting, was shoved into a cruiser. He met my gaze, eyes burning with venom. I realized he'd spent years moving in shadows, pulling strings, confident no one would ever challenge him. Tonight, the shadows belonged to us. It took hours to give our statements, recounting everything, the threats, the abduction, the documents. When it was over, Rachel and I sat in the back of an ambulance, wrapped in the same blanket, neither of us quite believing we'd survived. She took my hand. "I never wanted to drag you into this." I shook my head, tears finally coming. "You did what you had to." So did I. Morning crept over the city, painting the world soft and new. Adam brought Ethan to the station, and the reunion between mother and son nearly broke my heart. Watching them, I finally let myself breathe. The nightmare was ending, and the dawn tasted like hope. But as I stepped outside for air, my phone buzzed, an email from an unknown sender. No words, just a single photo attachment. Me, Rachel, and Ethan through a motel window. A warning or a threat. Freedom, I realized, comes with a price. And some secrets never really sleep. Even after Victor and Rachel's mother were behind bars, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. The anonymous email haunted me, a chilling reminder that Victor's reach might extend further than the rail yard, that unfinished business lurked in the dark. Rachel and Ethan moved in with me, at least for now. Every noise in the hallway, every car idling outside set my nerves on edge. I installed new locks, security cameras, anything to give us a sense of safety. Adam checked in constantly, bringing groceries, always cracking a joke to keep us sane. For a while, life was just about recovery. Rachel jumped at shadows but slowly came back to herself, reading to Ethan, teaching him to ride a bike in the park. Sometimes I'd catch her staring into space, haunted, and I'd gently take her hand, reminding her she wasn't alone anymore. But the fear found its way back in. Another email, another photo, Ethan at the playground, me in the grocery store, Rachel on her way to work. Each message was unsigned, each subject line empty, just a photo and that same threat. "We see you." The police traced what they could, but the sender was always a step ahead. They said it was probably Victor's old associates, trying to intimidate us, maybe hoping we'd recant or disappear. I wasn't sure. The tension in our home grew thick enough to choke. Late one night, Ethan woke me up. I heard someone outside. I found muddy footprints by the back fence, leading off into the alley. I called the police, but by the time they arrived, the rain had washed everything away. Rachel held Ethan tight. "We can't live like this forever," she whispered. "We have to finish it, for good." I nodded, determination settling in my bones. If we wanted peace, we'd have to take the fight to whoever was left in Victor's shadow network. No more hiding. No more running. The time for secrets was over. The next morning, after another sleepless night, I sat at the kitchen table with Adam, poring over the photos and emails for patterns. Rachel paced the floor, clutching a mug she'd forgotten to drink from. "There must be something we're missing," she murmured. "Some clue in the messages, someone who knows us, who's close." We printed every email, every photo, and stuck them on the wall, searching for connections. The timestamps revealed a pattern. The photos were always taken during Ethan's routines: the park, the grocery run, school drop-off. Someone was watching us closely, but staying just out of reach. Adam squinted at the board. "These aren't random creeps. This is someone with a grudge or orders. Someone who knows how you live." Rachel's hands shook. Could it be someone from Victor's crew? Or maybe my mother's friends? I dialed the detective on our case and pressed for information. "There's only one name from the files who's still unaccounted for," he admitted. "Victor's driver. Name's Carter Hayes. Former PI, good at making people disappear." That was the missing piece. Carter had access, knowledge, and motive. I remembered a face at the wedding months ago, a man lingering in the background, never joining the crowd. Rachel pulled up her old phone, scouring texts. There, tucked in a forgotten thread, were directions from Carter, signed with a single C. My heart raced. We gave everything to the police, who put out an alert. But that night, a new email arrived, just a single sentence. "You're getting closer. Let's end this." A location followed, the same riverside park where this nightmare had started. Rachel squeezed my hand, her eyes burning with exhaustion and resolve. We finished this together, and for the first time, I felt something fierce rise up inside me. Not fear, but the will to reclaim our lives. We arrived at Riverside Park as the sun dipped low, painting the river in gold. Adam waited nearby, phone ready to call for backup. Rachel gripped my hand, her other arm wrapped tight around Ethan. I scanned the empty benches, the line of trees, every shadow moving in the breeze. A figure stepped out from beneath the footbridge, a man with sunken eyes, wiry build, hands stuffed deep in his pockets. Carter Hayes. He stopped a few paces away, a weary smirk on his face. "You made it. You always were stubborn, Alex." I squared my shoulders. "It's over, Carter. The police know everything. There's nowhere left to hide." He laughed quietly, glancing at Ethan. "You think Victor was the monster? He was a businessman. I'm just cleaning up after him. Loose ends, you know?" Rachel's voice was steel. "We're not afraid of you anymore. Do what you came to do. But know this, if you touch my son, you'll never get away." Carter's face twisted, indecision flickering. "You're braver than most." He reached into his jacket. My heart leapt, but instead of a weapon, he produced a phone, thumb hovering over the screen. I could end this now. Or I could walk away, and none of you would ever have to look over your shoulder again. But it'll cost you. Adam appeared at his side, fists clenched. "We're done paying for your secrets." Suddenly, sirens wailed. Police emerged from every corner, our detective at the front, gun drawn. "Carter Hayes, you're under arrest." Carter cursed, spinning to run, but he was tackled before he made it 3 steps. Handcuffed, he glared at us. "You got lucky." I hugged Rachel and Ethan, the 3 of us trembling as relief crashed over us. The nightmare, at last, was finished. Days later, we returned home, locks changed, cameras installed, but the shadow finally lifted. Rachel started a new job, Ethan made friends at his new school, and Adam finally slept through the night. I found myself writing again, pouring the chaos into pages and finding hope between the lines. Life wasn't perfect, but it was ours. We had earned our peace, scarred but stronger. And as we walked together along the river one quiet evening, I realized family is what you fight for, what you protect, and what you never, ever give up on.